Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of the Foolish Fish Esoteric News with your weekly updates on the worlds of esoteric and occult book publishing and arts and events and paraphernalia. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you to miskatonicbooks.com for sponsoring the show. Miskatonicbooks.com are an amazing resource, and folks, if you don't know them yet, do yourself a favor. Go and click on that link that I've left in the description down below. I've left actually links to everything that I talk about in this show, but the first link that you'll find there is a link to miskatonicbooks.com, and you'll be able to see all the delightful books that miskatonicbooks.com always have available. They it's an endless source of inspiration, an endless source of information, in fact, of what's out there, what's great. So there's always a great kind of front page and stuff, right? But if you then scroll up to the top and then go to browse all, or then, you know, if there's a particular publisher you're interested in, or a particular subject, or just interested in their sale items, then just click on those. Or if there's a book that's out of stock, you can actually go over to its page and put in your email, and they will let you know as soon as they get that book back in stock, which is a really useful service. So thank you so much, miskatonicbooks.com, for sponsoring the show. Another little note for those of you who maybe didn't see last week's show. It's now going to be possible to get my course wherever you live in the world. So that's really exciting, right? So there was a situation where sending out these My Living Astrology chart sets was going to be impossible to the EU because of new regulations, but that has been covered. Carrie Paris has fixed all of those issues, and it's now going to be possible to ship the course materials wherever you are in the world. Very, very exciting stuff. And so there are now new details on how you can pay for the course and how you can just access the course. You're seeing some of the names of the people who are involved in giving the course alongside me. Very, very excited to be working alongside these eminent magicians. Very, very excited indeed. All right, so then you'll be able to see the various payment options. You can pay in one go, in two goes, in three goes, in four goes, and so on, up to five installments. And oh yes, and I keep forgetting to talk about this. The course will be in April, no longer in February. So it'll be in April. Let me just see because I can't even remember what the date of April in fact is going to be. Let me see if I can find it. Class and dates. Yes, April 19th, 2025. So that's starting just a little bit later than expected, just to give everyone time to sign up if you're hoping to sign up. There we go. So let's move on to the news. More news about me. I mean, it's my show, sure, why not? There is some great news from Black Letter Press. They have about 20 copies, probably fewer by now, of the first edition of Hidden Paths, that basically copies that weren't claimed, copies that had been ordered, but nobody actually sent an address for them, and nobody actually contacted Black Letter Press for over a year now to actually get their copy. So they've got about 20 copies left over at the original price of €70. So very, very cool stuff. All hand numbered, proper first edition, right? It's not like a re-edition of the purple book. It is the actual first edition, and you know, just all the stuff that you can find in all the other editions, of course, except that it's hand numbered and it's in that beautiful purple. rather than in the beautiful green or the beautiful yellow. There we are. News from Anathema Publishing. They are doing a Defect Copies blowout sale. Very exciting stuff for people who are hoping to maybe pick up a Anathema book and have just been put off by the cost. I mean, these are very, very beautiful books, very beautifully made, right? Made with very high quality materials, high quality processes, and so of course, that does drive the price to a surprisingly low level, considering what you're getting and considering what other publishers offer for the same price. But nevertheless, it is still out of reach for some viewers and for some readers. And so it's really nice to see some of these books being made available for an even lower price, just on account of some minor defects. So this newsletter gives you details about what kind of defects you can expect, explaining that none of the books actually have all of the defects described in this paragraph over here, but they do have slight blemishing. So minor flaws will be offered at 30% off. Moderate flaws will be offered at 40% off, and major flaws will be offered at 50% off. And if you just head over to Anathema Publishing's website, you'll be able to see right there on their front page the defect copies, and you'll see that there's only one available, for example, of a druid and psychologist's clothing. They seem to have sold out of the Red Shepherd. Semisilam has got 4 available with two major defects, blemishes, so the price varying, of course, between 59 Canadian dollars and upwards, depending on the severity of the blemishes and so on and so forth. So very, very cool stuff indeed. And of course, if you scroll down a little bit further, you'll be able to find their regular stock, their non-blemished stock, so to speak. So very, very cool stuff indeed. All right, folks, let's move on to news from Atramentus Press. So Carolyn Hamilton has announced that Void Sorcery and the Dissolution of Self Volume 1 is, they were waiting to be able to collect it on January 5th. The weather conditions were not allowing them to go and pick that up, but that was 4 days ago. It's I don't know, in fact, how the weather has evolved, but it does certainly seem like on the atramentuspress.com website, the Void Sorcery and Dissolution of Self Volume 1 is no longer as a pre-order, but actually as an add to cart, which is very cool, right? Very, very nice. I know a lot of people have been waiting for that one. News from Troy Books. So last week we talked a little bit about how Troy Books had changed their format, right? For the past few months, they've changed their format to pretty much a print-on-demand looking quality of book. So very, very different from their original format. This is essentially allowing them to continue to exist. So I certainly can't begrudge them for that. They are putting out some interesting work, some actually, I'm going to go as far as to say important work. But I was really happy to see this message from Troy Books saying that 3 Gemma Gary titles are available once again in the original foil blocked standard hardback edition, right? So it does seem, if you have a little read of the entire message here, it does seem like they are keen to, well, now that they're sure that they're going to be able to survive as a publishing company, it does seem like they're keen to nevertheless still occasionally print or maybe reprint some of their books in the original lovely buckram cover with a the silver stamp on the front, the way they used to make them, which is something that I know. At least I'm very excited to hear about, and I know there's some people who have reached out to me, disappointed, in fact, with the just the look of their new books. I know that they'll be very, very pleased to see this message. Okay, next let's have a look. We've got Sacred Bones, Magic Bones. This book was pointed out to me last week, and it looks curious. I mean, I'm curious to know a little bit more about it. Bones have many stories to tell, so many that it would be impossible to tell them all. The path of the bones belong to no one and everyone. The path of the bones only understand bones. Beneath the skin, beyond physical, linguistic, or cultural barriers, you and I are made of the same essence and held by the same skeleton. In a world full of barriers in which we have to jump to relate to one another, bones speak a universal language that connects us. Bones, together with the element of nature, are the basis of the spirituality of humanity. The cult of bones and the cult of the ancestors are very old, dating back to prehistoric times. The first rituals were born near the dead. Bones are not something out of the ordinary, yet they are still people who fear them. Bones are magical. Bones leave a trail that we can follow. It's up to us to follow that path of bones to the entrails of our own history. It sounds interesting, right? There are some very positive reviews over here. Do go and check those out if you're interested in the ideas of necromancy and simply earthwork, right? The dirt path and simply the work of bones. Is the subtitle here is Stories from the Path of the Bones by Ness Bosch, whom I know is a young mother. So go and check out her work, and the book is available as a Kindle edition and as a paperback. There we go. Next, I wanted to point this one out to you. Oh my goodness, folks. The Citadel Oracle deck. I'm not an Oracle deck fan as a rule, right? I tend to talk a lot more about tarot decks than Oracle decks, but once in a while there's a beautiful Oracle deck that jumps out at me. I was in France, as you know, over the Christmas period, and I hopped into one of the Occult bookstores in Angers, and I asked them for something particularly beautiful. the lady who was working there said, "Well, what's beautiful for me might not be beautiful for you." And I was like, "Okay, show me what you got." And she showed me a number of very lovely looking decks, but to be honest, none of them were really speaking to me. And then she said, "Well, I do have this one that's a little bit weird." I was like, okay, tell me more. And she came out with this, and I thought, okay, all right. I kind of like the gold gilting on the front here. This is the French edition, but what I've got up on the screen for you is the English edition by Fez Inc. Right? Okay, and it opens from the bottom like this. It's a magnetic little case, and it just slips out like this. Another box, and this actually, let me show you because the whole presentation is just gorgeous. Look, have a look at that. So the design kind of goes into the box, very lovely. And then in the box itself, there is a little white book, which is kind of substantial. Right, it's like a thick little white book, and then the cards themselves are octagonal. So let me just pop those out for you here, and you'll get an idea of just how pretty they are. How cool is that? Yeah, so that's one. Come on, camera, you can do it. There you go. There we go. The champion. I have actually been working with these. the Mask Maker, the Shepherd. Really, really lovely stuff. The cards are really nice and thick. I'll show you the back of each card. Very, very lovely stuff, folks. Somebody's put a lot of effort into these, and yeah, maybe I'm just late late to the party, and everyone's already talking about these, but I am absolutely enamored with these cards. Yeah, there we go. I'll just show you one or two more. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to turn them around for every single one. Merchant. Yeah, really, really lovely designs. And yeah, the kind of octagonal shape of the cards works really well. I've worked out some nice spreads for it. And yeah, it's cool. I really, really enjoy it. So that's a strong recommendation from me. There we go. That's the Citadel, and you can buy it directly on Amazon. I've left some associate links down below, so if you want to buy this at no extra cost to you, just if you use my associate links, then it'll give me a little tip, right? They'll send me a small commission for sending people in their direction. There we go. So then there's news from Cherubim Press, another exciting looking deck. So this is the complete Golden Dawn Tarot deck. This isn't the first time that Golden Dawn Tarot deck has been done, but according to Frater Yechida, the Golden Dawn Tarot has never been done properly, right? So according to the design descriptions, and so this is going to be the first time that that's actually done. So you can read all about it over here. This is Cherubim Press. It's the publisher of the Flying Rolls and the complete initiation ceremonies that I reviewed just a couple of days ago. So yeah, go and check out the write-up here, his explanation of what's special about this particular edition, and how he intends to make it just a little bit special, just more accurate. That's the whole point of Cherubim Press, is to get the most accurate Golden Dawn stuff possible, given what we know now and what we have access to now, right? Which is very, very cool indeed. Okay, news from a few. So La Società dello Zolfo, and it's news from Peter Jenx, both of whom are very exciting for me, and the combination of which is very, very cool. So Peter Jenx has recorded a number of lessons, an entire course, 6 hours of on-demand classes with Peter Jenx, and La Società dello Zolfo has made a special offer where you will get, I can't remember if it's 20 or 25% off if you just use the code Foolish Fish, all lowercase. I'll leave details down below when you order. So you're seeing it in Polish zlotys, 610 Polish zlotys. That's, I'm gonna say it's around 150, 160 US dollars. I think, something along those lines. And so yes, if you use that code, you can get a considerable amount of money off, which is very, very cool. If you don't know Peter Jenx, do check out the Thai Occult. His work is very highly regarded amongst occultists. I really appreciate, personally, I really appreciate when a person is speaking about local magic from a place of personal experience rather than from a place of, I heard, or my ancestors were into this stuff, but I kind of never experienced it for myself. No, Peter Jenx has actually gone there and spoken with practitioners in Thailand, and his two books, the Thai Occult 1 and 2, are fascinating insights into the Thai occult and or Sakyant, and this course is just a lot more directly from him. So if you like Peter Jenx's work already, then this is probably going to be a no-brainer. If you don't know about Peter Jenx, do go and find out a little bit about him. Fascinating gentleman, giving access to fascinating magic. There we are. Then we've got the Kickstarter for Frater Satnak. His latest Kickstarter is a set of coins designed to parallel the 78 cards of the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck. So you'll be able to see, if you just scroll down a little bit, you'll be able to see some of the coins, hopefully. Yep. So of course it's there it is. Of course it makes sense that the original 1909 edition, which was circular, would be the direct, the most direct inspiration for it, and you can see already the work that he's been doing to make these cards to make these cards as pretty as possible, and they are very pretty indeed. That's really lovely stuff. Okay. There's some close-ups. You can see that there's some nice detail there. Fantastic. All right, and then, so this was an Etsy store that was pointed out to me this week. Of course, these are just engraved bits of metal, right? There is an argument to say that the designs themselves are. Sorry, my wife's making dinner next door, making a lot of noise. There is an argument to say that these designs in themselves have power. I would say that these are simply very beautiful bits of jewelry, right? Very beautiful bits of jewelry. Anyway, again, the prices are up on the screen in Polish zlotys because of my location, but 100 Polish zlotys is around $20, something along those lines, right? There we go. And then finally, my board game of the week is Artistry. So this is a game that's not out yet. It's not even really properly announced. The Kickstarter hasn't started yet. But I backed their Dux Somnium's previous game called La Fleur. And I'm very excited to receive it. And I received this newsletter saying that this new game is going to be kickstarted very soon, and anyone who wants an expansion for it for $1 instead of for $8, you can send $1 now and be added to the mailing list. Are you kidding me? Of course I want to be on the mailing list for this. Look how beautiful this is. So anything to do with Art Nouveau is exciting for me, but a board game based on being an Art Nouveau artist, that's very cool. Look at these lovely little tokens over here, and of course the cards themselves are just utterly gorgeous, naturally, and I just trust Dux Somnium to make a coherent, reasonably, minutes to learn. There we go. That's important. Minutes to learn and a lifetime to master. That's my favorite kind of game. The kind of game that I can explain to a friend in literally, up to 5 minutes, and then that we can understand the first time we play it, and then see that it's actually really, really deep. I think Hanami Koji is another game that's just like that. You can understand how it works very quickly, but then it's very, very thinky, deceptively thinky. Like when you understand the rules, you're like, is that it? Okay, looks like an easy game. But actually, no, it's so engrossing, and the more you know the game, the more you know that how much depth there is. So I'm hoping that there's going to be something like that here as well, and an equal amount of beauty to the game. And you can already see that, yes, it's going to be a very, very beautiful game. So 1 to 4 players. So it looks like there's going to be a solo mode, ages 8+, so reasonably easy to learn, 30 to 40 minutes. That's perfect. And here's a look at some of the components. I'm assuming that the painter's palette and the very, very pretty Art Nouveau bowl and stuff is not included, but those cards and the board and the tokens, absolutely lovely, lovely, lovely stuff. So there we go. That's Artistry, my board game of the week. Everyone, listen, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate everyone who sticks around until the end. Thank you. Please remember to leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. If you got any kind of value out of the video, then hitting the like button really helps. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you'd like to have a one-to-one conversation with me, there's a link down below to be able to do that as well. I can read your tarot, or we can just spend a pleasant hour talking about your spiritual progress and what books you could read to help you get to that next step. Thank you so much again to all the Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for your support, keeping the channel alive, making all of this possible. Thank you to Miskatonic Books for keeping this particular segment alive. I know so many people really appreciate it. And if you'd like to support the channel and you don't already support the channel directly, then following on Patreon is really the best way to do that. It starts at just $2 a month, and that already gives you access to the Foolish Fish Discord server. So I do encourage you to go and check out the various levels at which you can become a Foolish Fish member. There we go, folks. Thank you so much once again for watching. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. See you very soon with another video. Bye-bye.